You know, our world is bombarding our teenage daughters with sex. It's everywhere. Television, internet, apps, sexting, magazines. And now your teen daughter has the whatever goes mentality and is sexually provocative. How could this have happened? You taught her God's word from an early age. You taught her right from wrong, and now you don't know what to do. Well, today I'm talking with Marianne Deeks, a youth ministry veteran with Youth Unlimited, Youth for Christ, and now seminar speaker. She is passionate about changing the lives of teens and equipping them with ways to tackle the issues they face in today's world. Marianne, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to talk to you. We have a lot in common.
We do.
Now, you have been working with teens for 16 years.
Yes, I have.
Tell me a little bit about your ministry.
Okay, so I work in a small town, and I have spent a lot of time as a school and outreach worker in the community. And about 10 years I spent in the high school setting, where I met with students outside of class and discussed life and what was going on in their lives. And then I do stuff in the community as well. And I also do seminars for parents and adolescents. And then we just recently last spring ran a conference for junior high girls, and yes, that's kind of what I do.
So in these conferences, what are your topics? We talked earlier about the whatever goes mentality.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Sure. So I don't know if it's our girls that have the whatever mentality, but certainly our culture. So everything, as you said, there's just this bombardment of sexuality, like commercials, yogurt. Yeah, right. They're selling yogurt, cars. Everything is being sold by sexual promiscuity and kind of this whole sexual culture. So at a very young age, our girls are learning that in order to fit in, they need to be sexy. So I remember a couple years ago, I went into a woman's lingerie shop just to sort of do some research, and there was a whole wall where it was all geared towards 9 to 14-year-olds.
It's amazing. And
right?
I can't believe it.
Yes, and so it was very disturbing. I also have 3 daughters, and so coming from a mother's perspective, I thought, wow. And so discussing that even with a friend of mine, she was saying her daughter would be embarrassed to change in the change room at school because she had the white cotton, simple undergarments, and then you have these girls in these sexy little outfits. And so it's very young that it starts. And so just understanding that, what do we do with that?
What do you tell the parents and grandparents who are raising the teen daughters?
Yeah. I think I start by saying to love them. We have to have homes where they're safe to talk about anything. So sadly, I say to parents, we no longer have the privilege of not speaking and talking openly and candidly about sex. And it was designed in a beautiful way. God created it so it was meant to be between 2 people to create a bond, and that is the beauty of it. But we often don't want to talk about it because we're embarrassed. We don't really understand our own sexuality, and so we kind of keep it at arm's length. But we don't have that privilege anymore, I don't think.
We don't.
No. So we have to be talking about it with our children openly and candidly, and from that perspective.
You know, a lot of teens are really struggling with sex and boyfriends, and you see a lot of girls making a lot of mistakes at an early age.
Yeah.
And you know what happens is they go from one relationship, they go to the next, and it just gets easier and easier for them to become sexually active.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the whole understanding, we don't talk about this very much either, the idea of the physiological side of it. So the understanding that when we do something, we create a line in our brain and it just becomes easier to do. But then what happens is we end up associating ourselves with that behavior. So whether it's music or art or academics or athletics, you end up kind of associating yourself with that. And so if you have a girl or a guy that is sexually active when they're really young, it kind of becomes this line that it's just, this is part of who I am, versus, okay, wait, there's way more to me, which we don't talk about, right? And then the consequences to it is the heartache and the pull of broken hearts.
Right,
Yes,
they go from one relation to, and it just becomes easier and easier.
Yeah.
And then by the time they're ready to get into a real serious relationship, they've had all these other relationships.
Yeah.
So what do we say to those teen girls? What do you say to them?
I think what has come down for me is this understanding that their worth and their value is is in Jesus. Really, truly, like that who they are as a person is really determined by who Jesus made them to be. And it's not about what they do or what they wear or how many Instagram likes or dislikes they have, because
that's
we know
another
social
whole
media,
issue.
right? That's right.
Instagram.
We can get into Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and just this craziness of what we post is who we are. And so for them to recognize that their worth and their value is based and founded in who Jesus Christ made them to be, I think is where it needs to start.
It's so hard. We have all these
Absolutely.
celebrities out there
Yes.
and the selfies, and now you see a huge shift with Instagram and how many likes you can get. And we did an episode on the Today's Girls about that.
Yeah.
Because the girls feel like that's the only way that they're going to get their relationship. What do you say to a teen girl who's struggling and doesn't have a boyfriend?
Well, I think it's a constant dialogue. I certainly don't think it's handled in one sitting with them or one setting. It's about relationships. So I can't go to a group of girls and go, you know what, you shouldn't be doing that, because they're going to go, who are you? But in relationship and what I do, I love the one-on-one connections and the idea of sitting in a room of girls and just saying, you know what, let's have a conversation. So I was at a conference or a seminar last spring, and there was a group of girls, and we started talking about addiction to pornography with girls. And I thought, this is a real issue that we need to talk about. And it was fantastic. That's right. We don't want to talk about it.
Especially in the Christian world, some of the parents and grandparents, they really don't think this is going on. It's really going on.
It sure is. It sure is. And so for us to be able to say, listen, you're struggling with this, let's have a conversation and let's discuss this. And
are you finding that a lot of teen girls are having struggles with pornography?
I would say more than we think, because particularly with girls, when we discuss pornography, it's more of typically a guy issue, and it's not. I think it's becoming more and more of a girl issue, but there's more shame and more guilt and dirty attached to it, and so we don't discuss it very much. But the reality is that we have to be talking about those issues too, right?
And that is the biggest point to talk to your teen daughter.
Absolutely. And understanding the shock, yes, of course, we would be shocked if one of our girls came and said, okay, and you'd be like, oh my goodness. But reality is, okay, how are we going to work this through so that you down the road have a long-term, wonderful relationship with your spouse, but also with Jesus, right? That there's no shame and there's no guilt attached, because you're set free from this, and you can find a wholeness, and you can have a wonderful life. So
it's so important to talk to our teens.
It is.
And let them know that you're approachable.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the most difficult things as a parent, is when they come to you and they tell you that they have issues with this, and you know, you are going to be upset. You are going to be a little surprised. But if you can be open-minded in discussing it, I mean, they know where you stand, but if you can show them the forgiveness and God's grace, they're going to come with other issues down the line.
And then also, I think, just the wonder that they have this unbelievable passion and drive for life and the ability of what they can do, even young. And so that's the other piece. I feel like they have this ability to change the world. And I don't mean in the go change the world massive, but one by one. But maybe it is a big thing, right? You hear about different things of people doing these great acts around the world, but I even mean in their own communities and in their own faith communities and their own friends, that they're making changes and that they're capable of that.
Well, where can parents and teens and anyone get in touch with you?
The best would be at my own website, which is mariannedeeks.ca, and that's probably the best. My information's all on there.
Okay.
And then through youthunlimitedgta.com. That's the other place.
Well, Marianne, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Love having you here.
Thank you.
And bless your ministry.
Thank you.
Now, you may have a teen daughter or granddaughter who's participating in risky sexual behaviors right now, and you're struggling how to help her through these challenging times. Initially, it's normal to feel shocked, upset, or even crushed about the news. But remember, the Lord is still in control and has great plans for you and your daughter. You know, we serve a loving Father of many, many second chances, and it's never too late to start anew. If you would like somebody to pray with you, we're here. Please call our prayer lines. We're available 24 hours a day just for you. We want to hear from you. Call us at 1-866-273-4444. We want to hear from you.